comes and goes in the blink of an eye. Soon as I swear you've been left behind, all the colors come back so bright. Wish I could keep you in black and white, sort of like a picture in a drawer. I don't wanna look at it anymore, but it's too hard to ignore that I'll never not feel.
this passes by. Don't know why I try to forget everything we had. Memories fading away. I wanted you to stay, but I know love can be forced.
ありがとう。
癖